This is the drive home with TT for the Millwall drive home. Driving home from the Aspect Arena, I think it is, or the Thames Road. Either one. We're back. It's football's back. Millwall's back. And yes, I know it's only Concord Rangers that we played. And yes, I know that it's only a friendly. But I don't care. I've missed it. I've missed coming to watch Millwall on a Saturday. I love coaching my boys. And before I say anything else, actually, my boys, my under-8 Lions, won our Team of the Year for Southwood and Ferries United. So well done to my boys. They fully deserved getting that award, as well as getting Sportsmanship Award from the league that was voted by other coaches. So well done to my boys. Now let's go on to Millwall. Where it finished, Concord Rangers 0, Millwall 4. Well, you kind of expect that, to be honest. And it was a very dominant performance from 22, 23 players. We literally had every player, two starting lineups, one for the first half and one for the second half. It was nice that little Alfie and Daisy got to walk out with the boys. You know, it's nice to see the club getting our fans and youngsters walking out with the players, because it's a lifelong memory. But we started with Frank Fielding in goal, who looked assured, didn't have too much to do, but a solid performance. And to be fair, I've not really talked about his signing. I thought it was an excellent signing, to be honest. Experienced goalkeeper at championship level, and I think he's a really good addition. Obviously, we needed someone in goal. Ryan Sanford played in the second half, but I don't think he had anything to do. It was a bit different in the first half. I think Concord Rangers lost a little bit of momentum. They had no momentum. They had no real up and at them in the second half. So Sanford had nothing to do. But yeah, Frank Fielding is a good addition. We had Danny McNamara playing right back, centre back pairing of Jake Cooper, thank you Alf, and Alex Pearce, and the left back was Junior TNCR. Now, you don't need me to talk too much about Jake Cooper and Alex Pearce. We know what we're getting with them. I'll talk about the two wing backs instead, Danny McNamara and Junior Tiantia. I'm sorry if I've said your name wrong, Danny. I should have got that one right. But I'm not sure with Junior. Hopefully I'll see him throughout this pre-season and ask him how to pronounce his name properly, because there's nothing worse. I thought both of them were really, really good. Danny McNamara looks composed on the ball. He whipped in a fantastic cross. I've got to be honest, there was a cross in the first half where he looked really assured. Solid performance from him. And Junior is absolute lightning. The boy has Usain Bolt boots, because he is quick as they come. Also, put in a couple of decent crosses. I think obviously both of them are going to have to work on their final product, how they play men's football, but they certainly are starlets for the future. They both impressed me playing the wing back position, so that was good. We'll move on to midfield. We had Jed Wallace playing right midfield, who looked like Jed Wallace. You know, he's a little bit off the pace, tried a few little tricks, but he's a class above most of the players at any level, never mind this level, and he showed that really first half. Left midfield was Yuri Skalak. I didn't think it was a great performance by Yuri. Put himself about a little bit, but for me at the moment, he needs time in his boots. Centre midfield pairing of Sean Williams, who got the first goal, and Billy Mitchell, which was nice to see Billy getting a start for the Lions. Williams looked composed, assured, like he does. You know, he's played international football, so coming to a stadium like that is not going to faze him. He took his finish well, and it was a goal made from what we probably will see quite a lot this season. And I know it's not great football, like people go, it's not football, it's not this, but it's effective, and that's what we're going to be doing. The ball played up to Matt Smith, and I'll go on to Matt Smith and Todd Bradshaw now as I talk about the first goal. The ball's played up to Matt Smith, who nods it down, who I think he chests it down plays in Jed Wallace, who's running down the right, a cracking ball, cut back into Sean Williams, who's arriving in the box, and Williams buries it bottom left-hand corner. And I think that's what we're going to have to do to really survive in the Championship. We're going to have to score goals. And Ben Thompson in the second half and Sean Williams in the first half is so important for our central midfielders to get into the box, get in there for the delivery that we've got from wide, and then make the most of it. And it was a well-taken goal. And like I said, I'll move on to Matt Smith up front. I wasn't sure about the signing, but he looked like a monster. He looked like an absolute monster. I know, again, coming up against Championship players, he's still going to tower over most of them. But he won nearly everything in the air. His touch looked assured. He had a couple of half chances that he just didn't get quite on the end of, and I think he put a header over the bar. But he looks a really good addition, and that's something that's positive for the future. And then we'll move on to his strike partner, Tom Bradshaw. We didn't get to see much of Tom in his first season for the Lions, but I thought he looked really good, and I'm really excited to see him and Matt Smith playing up front together. Tom Bradshaw's control today was absolutely first class. His movement was really good. His delivery and his passing was excellent, and it's given me hope. And again, it's Concord Rangers we're playing. We're not playing Leeds United. We're not playing the teams that we're going to be coming up against. But you can only play the teams in front of you, and some players look good and some players don't look good. Well, both of those two looked really excellent, and that only bodes well for the future. So I'm happy about both of those. Obviously, we only scored one goal in the first half, which wasn't really a true reflection of the game. We probably should have went in 2 or 3, maybe even 4-0 up. But that's how it was. Second half, we had, again, like I said, the whole lineup changed. Ryan Sanford in goal. Right back, Marlon Romeo. Nothing to say about Marlon. Marlon's just does what Marlon's done. He's excellent. It was nice to talk to him a little bit before the game. Told me that he enjoyed his summer holidays, but he's really looking forward to being back. And he was quality as you would imagine. Nothing got anywhere near him at right back. Centre back pairing of Hutchinson. Now I'm not sure what his centre back. I know that we had 3 new players that I wasn't exactly sure where they were playing. So don't quote me on this. I'm not sure who was playing up front at the back with Hutch. And then we obviously had Murray Wallace as the left back. And Murray Wallace looked, he's such a unit, Murray Wallace. He's someone that, players don't like running up against, because he's really strong on the ball, dominant at the back. And we were a little bit robbed at the end of last season. It was one of those things where like the wheels came off our season, or whatever people wanted to say. Yeah, but we had so many key injuries at the end of that season that if we'd have had them there, they do feel like, and Harris has said it, because obviously we haven't made many signings, and Harris has said it, but they do feel like new signings. Getting players like Murray Wallace back, it feels like Tom Bradshaw. It feels like we've made new signings, even though they were players at the club last year. We just didn't have them. So I'm glad that it was good to see Murray Wallace get some minutes under his belt. We had centre midfield pairing of Ben Thompson and Ryan Leonard. Now, Ben Thompson, without a doubt for me, was my man of the match. I can't give it to anybody else. I thought Ben Thompson was excellent. He's running on the ball, he's driving on the ball, he just looks so composed. I don't know what happened to him at Portsmouth. I don't know whether they give him injections or something, because he come back such a good player, and he can run the Championship. I really think he can have a good season this year in a team that we're going to need him to perform at his highest level. But if we can keep him fit, we've got every chance of having a decent season, because he was arriving in the box, he's powerful. He even tried an overhead kick where he was about 6 foot off the floor. It was, some players just give you a little bit of, hope, give you something, and Ben Thompson certainly does that for me, and it was really good to see him back out on the pitch. We again missed him at the end of the last campaign. And up front in the midfield with him was Ryan Leonard, who set up the goal really well. I think it was the third goal. He's come down to the byline, chipped it to the back post, and there was Duncan, who played left midfield, who looked another decent player, another one of our youngsters that looked decent. But Leonard does what he does and drives on the ball. I think it will help him playing with Thompson. Again, it's one of those things where it has the potential to be a really good partnership, and we'll see what happens. But it really does. I think them two consistently playing week in, week out, and I think that's maybe why Harry's done it. He put them in the same team together, but they look like they've got something about them that they can, obviously with Thompson getting forward, Leonard holding a little bit. We'll see what happens with it, but I'm looking forward to seeing them both play together. Let's see if I'm going the right way. I'm trying to get off of Canvey Island. And then up front we had Fred and Elliott. Tom Elliott played I think it was about 10 minutes, got himself injured, run about a bit. That's Tom Elliott's match report. And Fred, to be honest, he looks a good player. Fred looks a good player. He looks someone that's composed. He looks someone that wants to beat players. He just looks like someone that's got a chip on his shoulder, and the goal he scored was an absolute superb header. Again, crossed from the right. I'm not sure who crossed it, but it was a brilliant cross from the right, and his header, swivel header, literally top left-hand corner. It was a brilliant goal, and you just think he's got so much potential, Fred, and he will be a good player. But it's just not going to be at Millwall. He's not going to be a Millwall player for whatever reason, and I don't know the reason, but for whatever reason, he's not going to be a Millwall player, and it's a shame because he shows. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. He shows what he's got. He shows that he can beat a player. He shows that he's happy to run at a player. He nearly won a penalty where he was scythed down after just nicking, like his pace gets him away, and he nicks the ball in front of the defender. He gets taken down, and he's got a bit about him, and it's such a shame that for whatever reason it won't be at Millwall, but it 100% won't be. Overall, there was a fellow, and I can't remember his name, but someone came up to me. A lot of people come up to me and said that it was nice to see a lot of you. But one fella said that he was in hospital last year, had cancer and sepsis, and missed a lot of the season, or most of the season, and was really complimentary about me doing this and the other Millwall content that's on YouTube, and that's why people like me. That's why I do it. It was really touching words that he said that helps him through it, and so I want to say thank you to him, and it's good to have you back where you should be, watching the Lions. We've got Zach in the back reading. Zach, who's your man of the match? Tomo. Okay, I can't argue with that. What are you reading?
A Natural High.
Okay, well, Merv Payne, if you haven't bought this book, get the book. It's an absolutely superb book about our 2 seasons in the top flight. I really enjoyed reading it. I've done it in about a day and a half. Zach's going to take a lot longer to read it, I'm sure, but he's learning about our history. I was there, I was young, and it was obviously a magical time for our club, and it's a very well written book. So A Natural High, written by Merv Payne. Get yourself that for birthdays, early Christmas present maybe if you've got a loved one, but I'd certainly get hold of it because it's an excellent book, and it's in there, it's really well written, and it just shows that it says there was parts of it where when we're all singing from the same hymn sheet, when the fan base is aligned with the players and the manager, like it was that in the first season in that top flight, this club we are something very, very special. And you just want that. You just want the first game of the season, the first home game of the season against the very tough Preston side. They made mincemeat out of us last year at home. It was probably our worst home performance. So it's going to be tough. But we all need to be fighting the same fight. We all need to be in the same corner, because when we're very, very difficult to beat, especially at home. The Den is an awful place to come for many opposing players. Frank Fielding said it when, the the new goalkeeper, about his time when he comes as an opposing player. No one likes to play there. We need to make it that way. We need to do everything we can to get each other, to get behind each other, get behind the boys on the pitch, whoever Harris puts out there, and get behind the manager. You know, Neil's done an amazing job at his club, and yes, is he tactically as good as other managers? Isn't he? He's still inexperienced, he's still learning his way, but he's the best man for the club. I hear it all the time of people saying about different managers. No one knows this club better than him, and he will learn on the job. He will get better and better, and we will get better. Look at the money we spend. We're actually trying to spend some money. We're going to still try to bring in 4 or 5 players. If we can do that, we'll do enough to get ourselves stable. My dad said the other day, he's right, that if we can stay in the division, then we've got every chance of, you know, then pushing on. The money in the Championship now is so much different to League One. It used to be get to the Premiership and that's the Holy Grail, and still is. But the Championship's catching it up. And you just need to be, we need to be in this division. You look at Rotherham's first 3 fixtures for this season, and compared to the places we'll be going, we're going to be going to big clubs like Forest and Leeds. It's going to be a tough season. It's going to be a challenge, but we're in it, you know. And I wouldn't want us to be anywhere else. And I'm looking forward to the season. The tough play. You're going to see me disappointed and unhappy many times this season, I'm sure. But every now and again, I'm going to be buzzing, and I can't wait for that. And that's why we do what we do. Alfie, who was your man of the match?
Thompson.
Okay, so the Thomas Carr, very much Thompson man of the match. It was good to see him playing. It was good to see all the lines, and it's good to be back driving home with a 4-0 win. I'm not going to get to say that much this season, probably never say that again this season, so I'll take it while we can. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you don't mind, because it does make a difference. Come on, you Lions.